Hello everyone, it's Nick Lawson with CDC Take Charge Software, and this is lesson 4 on having fun with graphics in Alpha software. At the end of lesson 3 I said our next project would be doing a CAD Design type application in Alpha software, and I still intend to present that as a lesson plan. However, it's going to take quite some time to put all the material together so that I can present it to you. So in the short term, I thought what I would do is do another fun graphic project, which is creating a desktop widget in Alpha software. If you look up in the upper left corner of the screen, you'll see we have a new clock calendar. On our previous videos, our clock looked something like this, and it had a calendar of the same gray shade, which was a super control attached to it. This is an example of a user-defined object and Windows APIs that Alpha Software presented, and the Super Control again was Alpha Software's product. Um, what we're doing here is all designed in Alpha Software strictly by using objects on a form and controlling the properties of those objects. Now, what we have, as you can see, is we have a very modern looking clock face. The hands sweep around the face of the clock. We have 42 buttons which represent the days of any potential given month. And if you look and see, the date that we're on is May the 10th, 2013, and in May the month began on Wednesday. The button's correct. If I go back a month, April, the month began on Monday, and that's correct. So the buttons automatically change based on the month and the year that is displayed for activities. Now, once you're where you want to be, you can click a date to see if you had any activities that particular day. Here you go, Node Organizer for focus date 4/16/2013, 4/16, exactly the day I selected. And I had nothing going on that day, so I'll close it. Now when I get back to my current day, I simply click my text, which tells me what the current day is. Voila, here we are back on the 10th. Pretty cool. Now we have our display menu that we put on our widget, and it has a link to all the different lessons that we've done, our contact management, our message center, King James Bible, multiple email account manager, to-do tracking, node organizer, desktop, start menu, and our complete take charge suite. In addition to that, we have Windows' most popular desktop applications linked up. Their email, calculator, file manager, Internet Explorer, media player, notepad, MS Paint, and Word. I can bring any of these up simply by clicking on them. There's a file manager, so now I can do my file utilities right here in Windows if I don't want to use the one we created. Pretty cool. Okay, let's take a look at how all that is done. So come down here. All right, first what we're going to look at is our form. As you can see, we have all these objects on the form. Now, let's look at the Object Explorer. And you'll see we have 3 lines, which are our hands for our clock. They start from the center point of the text up to the circumference of the text. And of course, the text object is oval to present a clock face. Here, what we have to do is set the orientation of the line and the different positions of the line, which is left, height, top, and width. In essence, what's happening is you can't draw a diagonal line in Alpha software. What you have to do is draw a rectangle. So you set your points based on where you want the line to be drawn. For example, if I'm looking at here, bottom, left, top, right, I have to set the point here, and then Alpha Software draws the line. That's how it works. So let's look at that code. On initiate of the form, we have to set some variables. We also have additional variables that we set on the form itself. Those are here. Okay. Then we take and set our text objects. We assign values to our variables based on the current position of our lines. Then we take an array and we step through the array to set the days of the week for each row for our calendar month, for our activity date. Finally, we set the position of our minute hand. We set the step for our hours, and we set the position of our hour hand. On the timer, the second, the minutes, and the hours all fire based on when they need to in order to make the clock work correctly. That's all right there. In addition to that, every noon and every midnight, because we don't know which one it is, it's going to check and make sure that the current date is equal to the calendar date. If it's not, then it resets the calendar so that the user doesn't have to, every time they come back to their desktop, make sure that they're on the right date. Cool little feature. Um, on the calendar, once the button is selected, then we have to take and determine what day that actually is for which month and which year, and then run our show focus state to pop up our X dialog box, which says whether or not we have activities or reminders for that date. Finally, the last button we want to look at is our previous month. Previous month, previous year basically work the same way. This is simply a matter of manipulating the strings and reassigning it back to a date and moving the calendar forward or backwards and then resetting the buttons. That's pretty much everything that makes that form work. Um, Now, obviously, there's a lot to look at there, and we can't take and do it all in this short video. So if you would like to follow along and see the details and the explanation of why the code's written the way it is, go to our blog at cdctakecharge.wordpress.com and you'll be able to follow along in the lesson plan there. Thanks a lot and have a great day.